Um, in the very beginning, you guys have probably heard me say this before, like I was not, thinking about fairies or sprites or nymphs or leprechauns. It wasn't my go-to to try on those types of frequencies or even realize or recognize that these types of energies were around me. And it wasn't until I was living in an area which is actually not too far away from where I live now. And when I was living in this area, I really noticed that the energy there seemed really different. And I remember um, just things seemed to slow down a bit. I really noticed the flowers. I really noticed the different energy down my street. Next thing you know, I felt like hanging up clear cut crystals in my window. And I said to myself, like, why am I feeling like this? Like, why am I noticing this? So it was something that I really just said, something's going on here. I don't usually like care about hanging up crystals and noticing this kind of stuff. So it was at that point that I decided to do some research and read up on elemental energy because I knew it wasn't my angels. I knew what my angels felt like. I'd been communicating with my angels for about 4 years at that point. So when I started to pick up on elemental energy, I knew that this was different. It was as if time kind of slowed down and I really noticed the leaves and the flowers, and it became very still and very quiet. And I felt like having plants in my house. I'm like, me and plants in my house? Yeah, okay. And hanging the crystals in my window and hanging ferns in my window. And it was at that point where I realized that, fairies were totally taking over the entire street. And it was interesting because most people didn't know about this street. It was up on the top of a hill, and you only went up there if you lived there. And it was just a really magical place. Oh, the other thing that I really felt like I wanted to do when I was picking up on the elemental energy is I felt like I wanted to hang up chimes. And I also started being drawn towards like fairy figurines or little statues. So these are all key indicators when they're around. You feel this desire to go outside, to go for walks, to be around the trees, to be out in nature. You want to bring nature into your home. And so if you guys are feeling any of this, definitely pay attention. So what is the difference between a sprite and a fairy? Do many of you guys, have you even done any research on sprites? That's something I didn't give any thought to, like zero thought to, until probably about 6 years ago. And I remember saying, oh, I'm going to channel the sprites live and on camera. And I was like, oh, quite different, quite different. They have a different color. I think they're a little bit of a different size. From the gist I get from them is they enjoy spending time in trees, because every time I see them, they're in a tree. And they are definitely sassier. So if you guys haven't looked up what a sprite is, this is the time to do it. Yeah, and I remember when I was channeling this sprite, very much more kind of serious and very fast talking. And in the tree, what I'm getting from spirit is that sprites can have no wings or wings. In your mind's eye, they'll portray how they want you to see them. Some people may even see them outside of their mind as a certain shape or figure, right? And then, of course, in your mind or outside of your mind, you may see them as a ball of light or, a wisp of light moving around. And if we don't see them as a full figured or energy, then we're looking at how they feel, which I think is the majority of where most of us are going. And so when we're feeling elemental energy, is it slow moving or is it really fast moving? So for me, if I see an energy moving, very small energy, and it's moving really fast around me, and maybe it's making me a little lightheaded, then I'm going, okay, this must be an elemental energy, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of them are quite fast. So, what is an elemental energy doing around you when you feel like a wispy touch on your hand? Or it could be on your face, or it could be on your leg, it could be on your arm, and you're feeling just a wispy touch of energy touching your body. Absolutely all of the above, no question. When I ask, I'm usually watching TV when they're doing it. And so we look at what am I thinking? What am I doing when the wisping is happening? So if I'm worrying about something, or if I'm watching a low vibrational TV program and I'm getting a ton of wisping all up my legs and my arms, then they're clearing my energy. They're clearing the energy likely around me, through me, also the energy coming from the TV screen that is emitting a lower vibrational frequency. They're cleaning that up as well. But what if I'm sitting quiet, I'm laying on the couch, the TV's not on, and I get a wisp on my hand? Then I would say they're letting you know, hey, I'm here. You're not alone, and that we are around. So if you feel compelled to make your yard or your garden, like putting up statues and little figurines, maybe planting flowers and making it like a really beautiful space, would that not be an indicator that you definitely have a lot of fairies in your yard? Oh, yeah. There you go. So as soon as you start talking about an energy, that energy notices you. As soon as you start watching a program about ETs or UFOs, grays, what happens? What happens when you watch a program like that? Yeah. So if you're going to watch a program with grays, UFOs, or any other different ET origins that are being discussed, as soon as you're watching that program, then that frequency is also going to notice you. It's not just you noticing it while watching the program. So if you get a sinking feeling, nauseous feeling, tight sensation in the body while you're watching something, turn it off. Of course, but I told a story of my Aunt Gwen moving into a home in a cottage on what the locals called was fairy cottage. And she's like, what does that mean? And she moved into this cottage, and the fairy was actually trying to hide because it didn't want to be seen. And there wasn't a mischievousness from it. It was more like kind of I'm caught, and I'm going to try to blend into this picture. And then as soon as she saw it, it realized that she could see it, and then it just disappeared. It kind of ran away, essentially. A story from a friend of mine that lives in Ireland, he was telling me that his grandmother was walking down a path in a field, and right in front of her was a leprechaun. She could see it outside of her head with her eyes. And she told everybody for years, yep, I saw the leprechaun on the path. It was right in front of me. I said, well, what happened then? And what she said was that it just dissipated and then disappeared. What I get from the leprechauns is playfulness. a lot of joy, very talkative, and a lot of dancing features as well. There's a lot of energies here on Earth that are helping the animals in different locations. They're helping the Earth keep clean, vibrationally, energetically, and literally, as far as picking up garbage and keeping the Earth clean. Okay.